What's up? All right. Shooting the breeze. I'm waiting for Armon to come in. He's filling in for Lee Priest for me this week. I'm on Adibi. Lee Priest is in Europe doing his European tour over with Samson and Kevin Levrone and Bonac and all those high-profile people. He's not slumming it like he usually is with me on a Monday. Yo!
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, dude? Thank you very much for doing this for me today.
Absolutely.
How you doing? How's everything going?
Good. I'm using these new earbuds. I don't know if they're. I don't know if I like them because my earphones I hear a lot better. So
I gotta get new earbuds just for the gym because I've had the same Apple earbuds for the last 4 or 5 years now. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I usually use these. I like these Bose.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
those are really good. These I just got. These are I think the Beats, the one that goes in your ears.
Yeah.
But I can't hear you that well on them. I'm not sure. Let me see if I need to turn this volume or what. But let me see. Yeah. All right. John.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's okay. So, because these are kind of like, they kind of bother you or something like that all the time, but these aren't bad. These are the Beats noise cancellation. I used them at the gym today, and for music they sound way better. Oh, no. I'm sorry. These are the Bose. These are Bose. So they're both. Bose.
I gotta get a new pair, man.
Both Bose. Okay. Yeah. So
hi, Holly. Thanks for joining us. So Bose. Oh, where'd you get them? You got them on Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that because I was actually looking yesterday, but then I cheaped out. I'm like, I'm not buying shit. So I got a gossip question for you. Somebody, you know how I do every week Anabolic Academy? Somebody asked me a question and I don't know what happened. They wanted to know what happened between James Hollingshead and Jordan Peters. Do you know anything about that? I have no idea.
I have no clue.
Yeah, I didn't.
James Hollingshead. I don't know. I don't know James Hollingshead. I only messaged once. It was a really weird encounter. Message is not really weird. I was just I wasn't even. People are so sensitive now. I think I said it was a post, and I think he was guest posing, or I think he was guest posing. Yeah, he was guest posing.
Right.
And I think I said like a comment. I was like, hey, you can throw a tan on and actually like maybe work on a routine a bit. Guest posing, I think, and I'm pretty sure it was guest posing, or I'm not sure posing. This was maybe a couple years ago. And he said, sent me a weird ass message. He's like, who are you? Evan Santapani doesn't even know who you are. And I'm like, what does that even mean? And I'm like, Evan does exactly knows who I am because I think Dave used to prep Evan, and we were all in rooms together for like several years. So that was a weird comment. Like he was kind of saying like, who are you? And so I said, dude, it's constructive criticism. You're doing a guest posing. You need to actually perform, and why don't you put a tan on?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. People are just like way too sensitive. I get so many messages from people I don't know. I mean, the stupidest thing, making fun of my bandana when I'm working out, or making fun of the way I train or the way I breathe or fucking anything. It's unbelievable. You just have to learn to ignore it. And if you can't ignore it, then you got to get out the business. Forrest, what fart video are you talking about? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to address. The first thing is Larry Wheels has to he's got to go away, man. He's got to disappear. Like, go get a job, go do something. You see what he's doing now?
I saw that video with him and that big muscled up chick.
No, not that one.
What is he doing? I'm not a big follower.
He's sumo wrestling now.
Oh.
Swear to God, it's on my thumbnail. I clipped it and I put it on the thumbnail. He's fucking Sumo. It's like, dude, how much more shit do you need to do to try and stay relevant?
He has a manager, doesn't he?
No idea. It's like
Adam Silverman, isn't that his manager?
You might be right. I mean,
so
he's
maybe
Jewish,
he gets him the gigs. He gets him the gigs. I went up there with that agency for a little bit. It was when Adam Silverman and Mike Loins were two different agencies and they combined. And I was doing like just like photo shoot, so I'd compete and then I would lose muscle and do like modeling work, like actually like legit modeling work. And I was living in this house at Mike's house, the model's house or whatever. In each room there was 2 twin beds. And so you were there with some other dude. It was awful. I only stayed there I think less than a month, and I couldn't take it anymore. And I met somebody in the city, and I was able to stay there for free for like 6 months. But where was I going with that story? Oh, Adam, I believe so he was the manager at the time, and they were trying to get me to sign with them, and I'm like, well, I'm not really interested in acting because they were sending me to go do acting gigs and stuff like commercials. And I'm like, I'm really not interested in doing that. You show up, and this was in New York at the time. There's literally 500 people auditioning for this part. And it's like, they want a bodybuilder, and you show up and, bodybuilders are just people that work out even back then. It's not a real bodybuilder. So yeah, but that's only, and then he used to have a website that I shot for before, and I think that's his manager, or they're really close, so he probably gets in those gigs.
Yeah, Forrest, if you want to pay me for a fart video, I have no problem making a fart video if you pay me. That was the whole joke. Like somebody has to pay me for a fart video. But yeah, man. Well, it's a good thing that if I had a manager, I'd probably make sure he was Jewish too. But he really needs to go and fucking go away, because it's getting it's pathetic at this point. If you really he's
a little slow though, right? I'm not trying to be mean though, but I thought he was a little slow, right?
Who Larry Wheels?
Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't. Anytime I heard an interview or anything, I don't know, because we went from, the list is just never ending. It's just, we went from powerlifting, which was his original feat, which he was amazing at, right? He was squatting, benching, the whole deal. He was a fucking beast. Then we went to strongman, and then we went to arm wrestling, and then we did bodybuilding, and then we did classic physique, and then he did slap fighting.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's doing sumo wrestling, and it's like, dude, go get a job, go do something, go meet a girl and start a family. It's pathetic. What's next? Like, what are you gonna be like a booger in Revenge of the Nerds and do a burping contest? What the fuck? What?
Well, people get addicted to that attention, and wow. I never liked attention. I was one of those people. I didn't like the attention. I like to when back then when we had the magazines, go to the magazines, you shoot for the magazines. Okay, that's cool. You see yourself in the magazine. That was it. You didn't have to be bothered all the time. I feel bad for these guys today. The social media bodybuilders. They always have to be on their phone doing something. It sucks for them. There's those days of training, putting the phones up and going training balls to the wall, and that whole environment in bodybuilding is long gone. Gym. So
but he's Larry Wheels. He could start a podcast. He could have people that come on. He could do things that are productive.
Help people, help people in some way.
Seriously, he could do things that is productive. It's like, what are you gonna? It's pathetic that you're sumo wrestling now. Like, wow, what are you gonna play? Ping pong? Are you gonna what? It's ridiculous. And I think you're right. I think it's the addiction to the attention, because it's pathetic. Yeah. Listen, we all like attention. I like attention. If I didn't like attention, I probably wouldn't do this show, because inevitably, if you have to like it, otherwise you're gonna be depressed and anxious every time I did the show, right? So there's a part of me that likes the attention, But there's a part of me that's like, you know, I'm not going to do anything pathetic for attention. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, especially if I get any attention from girls with big tits, but that never happens. So it never fucking
I don't
happens.
know. I just think he's just like, hey, I'm used to the center of attention, and whatever can keep me in there. And I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like, how old is he now? 40?
He's got to be around there, yeah, because he's got to be close to. He's been into space for a while. It's not like, you know, he's been doing it for a couple. It's been, you know. Well, listen, when he first broke up onto the scene, he was a freak when he was doing powerlifting. There's no question about it. But it's like, dude, is it me, or it just seems pathetic and ridiculous that now you're doing sumo? When does it end? When does he just, you know?
But when the body's going to break down, though, when you're doing stuff like that, like, you know how Ronnie, everybody thought Ronnie was like, you know, couldn't be, you know, whatever. And look at Ronnie now, which is sad because I know Ronnie from growing up here in Arlington and friends with him and everything.
Yeah.
Not a situation now, but all the back injuries and surgeries and neck surgeries, that all that you do to your body, it'll eventually catch up with you. All that stuff he's done and lifted, your spine can't handle that. I mean,
yeah.
When I have some serious back issues I've spoken about before, and I'm in chronic pain all the time. You know, I refuse to have surgery unless it's absolutely necessary. Like, I can't control my bowels or something, then I'd get surgery. But because the surgery for the spine, it's not like a shoulder or knee where they've caught up and it's advanced so much in like the last 10, 15, 20 years. The spine is so delicate, and you can be worse off after the surgery. So it's just a scary surgery to have.
Yeah, no, I agree. How's Ronnie doing? Have you?
I haven't talked to his friend. You know, I know his close friends. He's, you know, best buds he grew up with. But just whatever's posted, you know, that's all I know pretty much. At first, they were giving me. I got a little more info, but I told a few people before they released it, and you know, like what exactly was going on. But and then people were talking about like, well, a lot of people were asking me like, how did he get that? And I'm like, well, I hope it's not the stem cell, because you could get that through some stem cell.
So I didn't even thought of that. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I never even thought of that. I hope that, you know, we've talked about this before on the show, but he is so loved. Everybody loves Ronnie. I just hope he pulls through, you know, and is able to get healthy. I understand he's doing better, but you know, only time will tell.
He's getting up there too. He's put his body through a lot, and
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I love Ronnie. Ronnie's awesome. You know, he's, you know, always happy. Just loves training. I mean, the dude used to he would have neck or back surgery and be in the gym 3 weeks later doing like 10-pound dumbbell curls. I'm like,
and yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah. He you know, and to his, you know, to his credit, he doesn't complain, not one iota, not one fucking ounce of complaining. The guy is, you know, he's become famous for saying that his regret is not squatting 805 times. You know, that's been his you know, claim to fame at this point. But obviously, besides being fucking the greatest bodybuilder that ever lived. But yeah, we all want to see him we all want to see Ronnie get better, and we want to see Larry Wheels either go away or do something productive. Like really, like either disappear or do something productive, because it's just
sumo wrestling. Why does that bother you so much? His sumo wrestling?
Because I could tell that he's doing it for attention. I could tell that he's doing it to stay relevant. It's not like, oh, I want to try sumo wrestling, because it's at the point now where he's tried everything, you know, and it's down to sumo wrestling. That's how low on the totem pole we've gotten, you know.
I remember he had a girlfriend for a while, and then he made this video saying he's OnlyFans. He's addicted to OnlyFans. He's spending like $10K a month on it, at least.
Forgot about that. Yeah,
I'm like,
fortune on OnlyFans.
I'm like, why would I want, like, I don't know those people that spend money on OnlyFans. It's just crazy to me because you can, like, porn's free. I don't like porn. I'm not a fan of porn, but
I like porn.
it's free, but like it's people get obsessed with the person. It's not so much like, oh my God, there's a, you know, this or that I'm seeing. It's because a lot of the women on there, like, they're not attractive at all. They're like, something's wrong with them or something. They look weird, but they make a lot of money because
everybody and their grandmother's on fucking OnlyFans.
Oh,
yeah,
no, man, everyone.
I mean, it's just no, it's not. No, open class sumo class. No, that's pretty funny, Sean. But no, you know, it's and he's Larry Wheels. Like, he can literally go anywhere and meet girls. Like, why do you need to fucking stay home and spend money on fucking on OnlyFans? Like, OnlyFans is, I could see if a guy is like single and he can't meet a girl and he's in his 30s or 40s or 50s and he's fat and out of shape and he's got nothing to offer. I get it. But you're Larry Wheels. You're a social media phenomenon. People wait on lines to meet you. You can just meet a girl and get laid. Like, what's
John, I had a buddy growing up, like, or you know, back in the magazines days, and he was a cover model and he was on a lot of stuff like that. And, you know, girls would go to him, but then he couldn't keep a girl at all. He would just do weird stuff all the time. And I remember I brought these girls over to his apartment one time, and they were cute, you know, girls. I'm like, hey, dude, just don't do anything. I know his personality is like, just chill. These girls are really good looking, and, you know, you can hook up with one, because he wasn't good with girls. And I think I was like 19 at the time. He's 3 years older than me. And so he was a good bodybuilder too, but mostly fitness model. Chris Jalali, he passed away. He was one of my best friends. But he, and I was like, you know, why don't you put a movie on? And so it's so funny. He puts it. It's a VHS at that time. It was a long time ago. So, or a CD. He go puts it in, and it's him getting posing lessons. So he's going like through his mandatory posing, and we're like sitting there on a Saturday night watching this, and the girls like looking at me like nudging me like already ready to go. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, go put a movie on. We want to chill and watch a movie. And he thought like this was going to impress the girls. Him in posing trunks, posing. It's funny too. I remember I took him on when I used to do those strippergram parties. You know, he show up as a cop or, you know, pizza boy or whatever that stuff. So I used to bring a friend with me because I was horrible with directions. So I used to, you know, print stuff out on MapQuest and look at the directions and all that, because it'd be usually like a 30-minute drive, and I would always get lost. So I would always ask a friend to go with me and drive me. And my friends all would want to go because they would be able, whatever parties I went to, let's say I had three or four in one night, they would get free food, free alcohol, and get to meet, you know, some usually good looking girls, because the girls are normal. It's just a bachelorette party or a birthday party. And we're about to go in one, and he's going to do it with me. And he was so nervous. He's like, well, what do I do? I was like, dude, you don't have to know how to dance. Just kind of go up there and move on the girl a little bit, all this and that. And we were young. It was like 20 years ago. And, you know, you remember that like liquid, whatever, sex lube, you could edible, whatever, sex lube or whatever. That tastes like raspberries. You know, you put on a girl's nipple and lick it off. Yeah. So they had that there because usually bachelorette parties, they have like a sex toy. People would come first. And
Right.
So they had a bunch of that stuff there. So they broke that out. And one of the girls, this and that, I kind of took her top off and I put some on each nipple. And I was like, go, you know, get it off. And, you know, I was on one nipple. He's like, isn't she going to be mad? I'm like, is she going to be mad? Dude, she has her boobs out. And there's edible stuff on there. She's waiting for you to look it off. Why would she be mad?
That's unbelievable.
Then I was like, go dance on her, whatever. And then he does like a side oblique most muscular, like that. And I'm like, oh my God. And the girl's like, what's that? Because he was He was like I think 5 weeks out from a competition, and
oh Jesus,
like, how could you even blow that, dude? Like he would blow every situation with the girls. So maybe Larry's like awkward with women. You never know.
Yeah, it could be that he's awkward with women, but it's also like you kind of shine. I've noticed that you kind of shine in your own an environment that you're comfortable in. Like if I went out to a club when I was a kid, I was never good at clubs because the clubs were the guys with the money and the VIP that didn't have to wait online and conveyed that energy. Those guys all got the girls. I was always better with girls if we were in a spot where it was like comfortable, like maybe a bar or outdoor bar where we could sit and talk and socialize. Because then I could laugh and make jokes and right. I'm better at conversation than anything else. You know what I mean? Then I would be able to meet girls or be able to hook up or whatever the case may be. But in high energy places like nightclubs, I was never good. The gym, forget it. I don't know what it is about the gym. It's like they run away. It's unbelievable.
I enjoyed the nightclubs. I like the nightclubs.
Well, you were part of that scene, so you probably you probably did well with girls in that scene, in that energy, in that environment.
I liked not talking to the girls, so you didn't have to talk much because the music was loud. So
yeah.
I didn't really want to hear what they had to say. So
you also got to remember, where I grew up. So I grew up. I was in Brooklyn, then I was in Staten Island, right? So if we went out to the clubs in Brooklyn, was the worst. Brooklyn was absolutely the worst because only the wannabe tough guys, only the wannabe gangsters, the wannabe mob guys, they'd pull up, they'd flash their money. Who knows this guy? Who knows that guy? They wouldn't pay for parking. They'd pull their Benzes right up. You're waiting online to get in. They walk right in. They're in the VIP section. So, and all the girls wanted to be around those guys. And then if we went into the city, it was like we would stick out like sore thumbs because we were like Guido, Cugine guys in.
Did you ever go to the bodybuilding places like King and Victor and all them used to hit up? Was it Sound Factory and
Sound Factory, the Palladium? What we would do is once I got into my I would say 22, 23, and we were finding these places in Jersey, and then Jersey would close down at like 2:00 in the morning. And then we would go to the Palladium and Sound Factory in the city because they were they would never close down. They were open all night. Mm-hmm. And we would go from there to the Sound Factory. But it was like I just never did good in nightclubs, man. It was just too high energy. I didn't have money to throw around. I didn't have.
I didn't either. I didn't have any. I wouldn't spend any money at all.
No.
No.
I didn't have like this. I don't know. I just didn't have. I just wasn't good, And I wasn't
like the sparkly shirts, like the club shirts.
No, I didn't have the sparkly shirts, nothing like that. So and then I don't know. I was always better at if we can meet somewhere and it's an outdoor spot or in a place where we could talk and bullshit and maybe there's a band or a bar. That's where I shined because I could talk, I could socialize. I could laugh. I could make the girls laugh. I could, I could listen to their bullshit and blah, 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 blah. And I could order a drink right then and there. It was just socially, I was better at that than that. That was really it.
Yeah. But clubs, you got to have, like you said, money, drugs, or
that's another one. I was never heavy into drugs.
No, yeah. I when I went out either, I would, GHB was the thing. And that's the only thing I would do. I never tried X in my life. I've never done Coke in my life ever. Never even tried it. But I'd always have the GHB, and it was easy. I just meet girls and you just meet a girl. Hey, what's up? Hang out with them, party with them for the night, and so.
Yeah, that's another thing. I wasn't into Coke or ecstasy, and all those girls that wanted to go out and party all night. That's what they were doing, man. You know,
Oh yeah,
that was it.
so,
The other thing I wanted to talk about, this might be I think there'll be a lot of people that'll agree with me on this, but Keon, probably the greatest physique I ever laid eyes on in my life. I mean, the guy is flawless. I don't know if you saw the guest posing from this past weekend.
yeah.
I mean, the guy is fucking flawless. I mean, he has everything. If you want to draw a bodybuilder, I mean, as a cartoon character, that's what you would draw. The bubbly muscle, the small waist, the V taper, the flaring quads, the back, the hamstrings. He's even got calves and forearms. There's like nothing. There's nothing out of place. He's like a perfectly symmetrically sound bodybuilder. And I really think that if he goes up into the open, he can win Mr. Olympia.
Yeah. I like the more kind of like dugout look conditioning. I'm kind of more of that guy, like personally.
What do you mean?
I'm a fan of that. Like let's say the guy they were comparing him to, the Turkey guy, the Turkish kid that's like 21 or 22. That's like,
he's Ukrainian or Russian or some shit like that.
No,
I know
he's Turkish. I think he's Turkish.
Forget his name.
He's like 21. He's a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. But Keon is just so impressive, man. I don't think I've seen another 212 guy that was that impressive. Yeah,
but in open, he's still going to have the limits of being a shorter guy. When you get a guy that's like 5'10", 5'9", 5'11", those guys when they fill out their frames more, they just usually beat those guys. Like,
yeah, no, absolutely.
I think his physique. Yeah.
Okay.
I think his physique is maxed out muscle wise. He just needs to refine it and get more of the muscle maturity and all that, and especially coming with the condition, because I know that's been an issue for him. But I think his physique's just maxed out size wise. So if he's going against bigger guys, like look at all the Olympians: Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, Phil Heath. It's like the 5'8" to 5'11" range.
Yeah.
Samson, of course, whatever 6 was he 6'1" or something like that.
Yeah, but let's not forget, Derek Lunsford and Hottie, who also came up from 212. Right.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying he could be a. Right. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Right. Because as soon as somebody like Samson fills out his frame, right. I agree. But man, you just look at him and you go, he does not. I can't. And I was trying to look at something to see if anything was out of proportion, and I couldn't find anything out of proportion. I mean, the guy, he's this round, bubbly. Everything is just so balanced and symmetrically sound. He's so impressive. If he decides to stay in 212, he'll probably beat Flex's. How many times did Flex win? 6, 7?
I think it was 6.
Something like that. He'll probably beat.
I don't know if he's going to go up. I don't think he will. I think he. Where he's at is where he's at, and I don't know. I just don't see him. You just have to see him up on stage. But if he goes up, I don't think I see a lot of people thinking, "Oh, he's the next best thing." I don't see it. I see him being a good 212 bodybuilder. I don't see him being Mr. Olympia Open bodybuilder. I see
him being a great 212 bodybuilder. Yeah. And I see him being a very good and a possible Mr. Olympia. I'm not saying dominant like a Ronnie or a Dorian. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying in our day and age, in today's day and age, where you have guys like Derek and Hottie that have jumped up and won the Mr. Olympia, I think he can do the same. Because I mean, all right, you got Samson. I don't think Samson's got his work cut out for him.
I don't think we're ever going to see a gnarly, grainy looking Samson. I just don't think.
Exactly.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
I agree.
Kind of like Flex Wheeler never got that look, and
right.
Guys, they never got that look. I just don't think Samson's going to get that look. He's just going to be that big, massive dude that has got to be a certain percentage on, or he'll get beat like he did.
Right.
With Derek.
Yeah. Right. I agree. Here's the thing. I think Samson can repeat? Yes, but he's got to come in like he did last year or better. But Derek has every chance to beat him. And I don't know if Hadi's going to be in the Olympia. It's going to be very difficult for anybody from Iran to be here.
Yeah, I saw him the other day. He was doing a video, and he looked like he was off the juice. Like he looked like he was cleaned up.
Oh, really?
How many weeks out over from the Olympia right now?
13.
Yeah, he'd already be loaded up. So
yeah,
it looked like he's not even trying for it. His forearms were really slim. Like he still had those big old biceps because I know he's
right.
But his forearms were real slim. So he looked like he was cleaning out. So I don't even think he's going to attempt. I don't think he's going to be there.
No, I don't think anybody from. It's going to be very difficult from anybody from Iran to be there.
Yeah.
So I think Tabani, who deserves to be on that stage, 100%.
Oh yeah, dude, I love his physique.
Oh yeah, he's phenomenal. And Hadi might he has been given a little bit of what do you want to say? Like a little bit of hints that he might not want to come to the States anymore after they bombed the nuclear facilities. So
and he's pro. He's like pro. With the government too. Like what it is.
He is. I wouldn't.
I mean, how can he not be? Because I mean, they're literally that he's the little like the LeBron James or whatever of there.
Exactly.
If he's against them, they probably kill him.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, I would be. I'm very patriotic, and I would probably, if the shoe was reversed and I had to compete in a country where, they bombed the United States, I'd be like, fuck you. I wouldn't go either. You know what I mean? I get it. I get it. Right. I fully understand. Plus he's got nothing to fucking prove anyway, but it's just a fact of getting here from Iran. I don't think anybody's going to be able to get here from Iran this year.
I don't think so at all.
I mean, in 13, and you never know. In 13 weeks, anything could happen, but it just doesn't. It doesn't seem that way. If you thought it was going to be tough the last couple of years, it's going to be really tough this year.
There's no training videos. There's no. He was like talking, and the videos I've seen just kind of talking and all. That's it. And like I said, he doesn't look off. He doesn't look like the regular Hadi. Yeah,
he doesn't look the freaky. Yeah, that guy is when he's on, he's fucking insane. But so if you look at Samson and his biggest threat is probably Derek, and Derek has every chance to beat him. We all know that. That's a possibility. Yeah. But there are times Derek comes in a little off. Samson,
it's got that quad issue. The quad issue to keep it. Is it going to be full or is it not going to be full?
Because that's right.
Since he's like so wide, his back, and then from the front, he don't have all the detail, but he's still really full shoulders and all that. But if those quads aren't there, they look small. They're not small, but whatever they're doing with the quads, whether it's if he's shooting them up a certain way or they're pulling the water too soon, or if it's too much diuretic, he lost it with Hani and he lost it with Chris. So both of them couldn't keep that. I mean, Hani had him good for a long time, and then all of a sudden, boom, that quad issue.
He looked great at the Arnold, and he was with Chris at the Arnold, but he kind of lost something when he went into. He still won. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
he kind of lost something when he went into Pittsburgh, but again, he still won. But right now, Samson's biggest threat would be Nick Walker, Derek. Listen, I'm not going to count Hadi and Tabani in because I seriously doubt they're going to be there.
I think you got that's it. Nick, is one of those guys. I think Nick is just. I think he wants it more than anybody. I think he is just mentally just about bodybuilding. He will do whatever it takes to be Mr. Olympia. If someone said, "Hey, you could be Mr. Olympia the next couple of years, but you only have like 5 or 10 years to live," he'd be like, "Okay."
Oh yeah, he would do it. Yeah.
I think that's how much he is obsessed with bodybuilding, and if they come off, if Derek and Samson come off, I think Nick can win, even though his structure, and I'm not a huge fan of his structure, and I've always said that, people are like, oh, you're hating. I'm not a hater. I'm just calling it. I don't like his structure. That's all. That's all it is.
Yeah. And when you want to talk about structure out of the three of them, Samson clearly has the best structure out of the three of them, right? But it's when they turn around.
Yeah, I think it's Derek Sampson when it's just however they show up.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing is Samson doesn't show up off. He's just like you said. I don't think he can get that grainy, crazy condition like Hottie conditioning or or even Derek conditioning. I don't think that could be the issue. But we have seen inconsistencies with Derek. We have seen it. We've seen inconsistencies with Nick, although he seems to have found the formula this year.
I think he was just burnt out for that when that time he didn't look so great, and then I think he just needed to chill, or maybe he was overtraining or something.
Who knows? Yeah,
always spot on.
Served him well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Nick has. Did you hear the advice that Dennis James? People talk about like he's a genius, unbelievable. Like I have nothing against Dennis James. Don't get me wrong, and I know he's a great was a great bodybuilder and there's a great mind for bodybuilding. But he basically goes. He's telling Nick, not to his face or not on the on the podcast.
I saw it. Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing and coming 100%. Like, dude, I could have fucking said that. Like. Why are those words so amazing? I could have said that. Yeah, I mean, that's fucking ridiculous.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was silly too.
I actually put the quote underneath his Instagram. I was like, I could have said that. I don't just keep doing what you're doing. Now, here's the thing. Do you think Keon could be better than Derek if he moves up? Because I think he can.
I don't know. Like I said, we've seen him up there with other 212 guys. It's different when you move to open. I don't know. I don't know. I think he's still improving, and if he gets dried out, I mean, who knows what can happen?
Yeah, I think Keon. Well, he doesn't have to put much weight on if he wants to.
No, you don't.
5 pounds, 10 pounds tops, and I think he could be a fucking danger. You also let's not count Martin out because Martin looked great last year. He just missed the mark this year.
He's still a little small though compared to those other guys. He don't have that size for that.
Yeah, but he came in 4th last year, and that was phenomenal. That was great. Gun to my head. I think Samson's going to repeat. But especially that Hottie's not going to be able to get to the States. It doesn't look like he wants to get to the States, and Tabani's not going to be able to get here. And I think the new blood isn't ready yet. The new blood coming up isn't ready yet. Plus, we got a lot of other guys that aren't qualified yet that look fucking good. I don't know if you saw what Justin Shear looks like, Shear or Shire, whatever the fuck his name is, or if you saw what
good he does. But I think against those other guys, he just can't compete against yet.
Oh yeah, and or I don't know if you saw what Jordan Hutchinson looks like. He looks fucking great.
Yeah, he lives here.
Oh, and Mike Crizzo, that's actually a good call. I think Mike Crizzo is going to be,
back.
Yeah,
he's got to get it back.
I think he's going to be in if he breaks the top 10, the lower end of the top 10. I don't, because you don't remember you got. Andrew
he's not competing because he's gonna. He said he wasn't competing this year. I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, thank you, Forrest. He actually shut it down. Yeah, but for his shoulder or some shit.
Well, he just had the shoulder deal, and he came in straight into that prep, and I had shoulder surgery on this one twice. They did it back to back because they didn't fix everything at the right time. I didn't lose as much range of motion, but that range of motion, he didn't have time to get back. He put all that muscle on really fast, and he looked great. So he couldn't pull that arm back at all. So I don't know if he's going to be able to, or usually when you have a surgery like that, you take a little more time off and heal. And he just put that size on like really quick.
All right, so Mike Crizzo's out, Hottie's out, Tabani's going to be out. I don't think it's going to be Samson, Nick, and Derek. That's who it's going to be. Those are going to be those. That is Samson's two biggest rivals right now. I don't think Andrew Jack's going to be Andrew Jack. He's probably going to be in 4th or 5th place like normal. Nexzilla, he'll be in the back of the top 10. Because
are you going?
No, to the Olympia. No, I'm actually going to Vegas in the weekend, the week after Memorial. Listen to me. I'm going the week after Labor Day, but it's just a vacation with me and my wife. That I paid for.
I haven't been to Vegas in a while. I thought my buddy goes all the time because he gambles and he gets all UFC and hotels for free. So I said, dude, look, next time there's a good card, a fight. I still never been to a UFC fight, so I want to go to a UFC fight. But I'm not going for the Olympia. I was going to try to go earlier this year. I just got too much stuff going on, and I really don't care to be honest with you.
Yeah. Very good call, juiced up Tonio. Yeah, I think Tonio's going to be in the mix. I think Tonio's going to probably be able to be in the top 5 or 6 this year because that kid just looks. He's another one.
He's a freak.
He really is. And his structure is just phenomenal.
He's improved a lot. I'm really impressed with him. He's, we had him on the show the other day, and I was like, man, you've made a lot of improvement. This was right before he won the show, and I was like, there's no way you're going to lose the show. Like, you're on. And he won, hands down. And he looks great. And, I don't know, he told me, everybody says what they're taking in lies and all that, but he told us what we're taking in, and it's not as much as these other guys. So he still has room to push it in that department too.
Yeah.
So I like him. Tonio's a good guy. I like him a lot. And
I think I met him at the New York Pro like 3 or 4 years ago, the one that he won, because Nick won 1 year. The next year, Tonio won. Am I right? Oh, no. No, 2 years after that, Tonio won. That asshole won after Nick. What's his name? Blessing won. And I'm sorry for calling you an asshole, but I mean, it just bothers me when you have all the tools and you just can't show up. When you have all the,
it's his legs, man. We spoke for a couple weeks about the legs.
You and
a couple years ago.
No, I don't know if he's an
what he needed. I gave him my advice what he needed to do for the legs, and he was like, "Oh hell no!" But he has that knee, dude. So that's got to affect his leg training, no matter.
But he pulled it when he was with Farah. He was able to pull it off, and he had so much separation in his legs that it really wasn't something that was an eyesore. I
don't know why he left Farah, because before that he was with Chad, because I think it was Chad before that, because I was in Indy and I saw Blessing backstage, and Chad had him like he looked bad. He was super depleted, like he was thin. And then George, I don't know why these guys leave certain coaches. Every single
great
season.
With George.
George is a great coach. He's he's there for you. I have no clue why he left George.
He won the New York Pro with him. Like what
that was his best look. People said it was a weak show.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's the best he's looked with George.
That's right. I don't get it. These guys, whatever. I don't.
And George cares about your health too. He's not one of these guys that's gonna kill you with gear. Like he really cares about the health aspect of it too. So.
Yeah. Top 3. Yeah, I would have to say these top 3. Yeah, Forrest. That would be the top 3 for the Olympia. I mean, we still got a little bit of time, but I think that's going to be the top 3, especially the guys that aren't going to be in it. But yeah, man.
I like Tonio better than Martin. Someone mentioned Martin earlier. I think Tonio looks.
I think Tonio's better than. I think Tonio's better than Martin. I think Tonio and Martin and Andrew Jack are going to be in that 4th, 5th, 6th spot. I think that's where you're going to see those guys. But Martin's the kind of guy like last year. He came in, he was on, he looked fantastic. He's going to have to do that again. He missed the mark this year. He's already qualified. I think he won the Prague Pro. Yeah, he won Prague. That's when he
way off. I don't know what they did, but he was way. He
looked like I don't know what happened this year, but hopefully he gets his shit together because he can be a really good bodybuilder.
He's got to be. His arms are still lacking, though. His arms are very weak compared.
That's right. That's right. There's a separation too.
No separation arms.
But these are things that can be worked on. He's a young guy. If he has his head strapped on right and he has good cornermen and a good trainer, these are things that could be worked on. There's a lot of other problems. If I had to choose something that I had to overcome as a bodybuilder, and it's the separation between my biceps and triceps, I would pick that over like legs or back. That's for sure. Yeah. Because if your back is like if you have a high lat insertion, it's very difficult to look very impressive with a lat spread or a rear lat spread or a rear double bi. And your legs, if you don't have legs, it's very difficult. And even if you blow up on legs, you start dying, and it's like the first thing that fucking comes off. It's difficult.
This guy's juiced up comment is on point. I know that for a fact.
What's that?
The kratom shit. I think it goes too much kratom. Certainly, a lot of these guys are on.
What is that now? Explain to me what that. Martin loves his kratom. What is the fuck?
Kratom, bro. It's like illegal opiates.
Really?
Yeah, you don't know what kratom is? You haven't talked.
Oh, I swear to God, I'm not kidding. I swear to God.
So they have. So what happened is there's a kratom company that sponsors bodybuilders now, and so when they came in, I was like, this is not good because it's like the new Nubain, right? So you can make a tea with it and all that, but now they've made these extracts. It's called 7-OH. It's an extract of it, and it's like 10 to 40 times stronger than morphine, right?
Get the fuck out of here.
And it binds to the mu receptor like really, really hard. So like if someone takes a pill, because they're extracts, so they come in little shots you can take in a pill. And when people get on those, you're getting on. I mean, it's basically heroin. You're not gonna be able to get off, and it's gonna be really, really hard. And when you're a bodybuilder, all that kind of stuff, it's gonna bloat you. It's gonna constipate you. I think that's an issue for him why he came off. I 100% think it's because when you're taking all that kratom, it backs you up, and it's just like an opiate. You're gonna be sweaty. You're gonna be off. So I think that's a big issue for some of these guys. There's a few of them.
I never even. Yeah, here it is. Whereas dark green glossy leaf known as kratom have been used in herbal medicine since the 19th century. Blah blah blah. The efficacy and safety of kratom are unclear. Said there is no evidence that kratom is safe or effective for treating any condition, for treating opioid withdrawal symptoms, or for recreational purposes. The online effects of typically begins within 5 to 10, 15 minutes. Anecdotal reports describes increased alertness, physical energy, talkativeness. Side effects include appetite loss, erectile dysfunction. Why would you want to take it? As soon as I hear that, I'm not.
Bro, it's just like popping oxy or hydrocodone or whatever. It's the same exact thing. The teas are gross. Listen, if you're coming off fentanyl or dope or something like that, and you're using that as a tool to get off the harder stuff, that's great. But I don't think anybody should just start using kratom because it's one of those things like, okay, I'm going to take it, just on leg day because you could train really good on it too. It's just like Nubain, like you could train amazing on it. I'm taking it after my workout and in the morning, and then you're taking it every couple hours. If you don't, you're going into full-blown withdrawals.
I had Paul Barnett on, and the guy is a wealth of knowledge. He really is. He's great. And I was saying we were having this conversation, and I wouldn't say it was disagreement. I wouldn't say anything like that. But I said it seems to me that people like me and him, people that just use anabolics, and don't dive into any other drug and are very grounded and stable. I think it's very rare. He was saying that the majority of the people he works with are very grounded and stable and so on and so forth and use anabolics. But it just seems like either if you start using anabolics, it justifies other drugs to use, or it's reversed. If you start using, if you use recreational drugs, it's just justifies you using anabolics. And what
you
do you
got to
think?
remember too. You got to remember too. Bodybuilders, they're in pain. You hurt. You know, you're sore all the time. Let's be real. To be a top bodybuilder, you feel like shit all the time from eating. You're overeating all the time. You're overtraining your body. You try to sleep as much as possible. You take naps, and your body hurts. You mean literally? You remember when you're sitting on the toilet, your legs are so sore. This and this and this. Doing that year after year after year, you lose that passion for bodybuilding because it's just a shitty life. It's not fun.
Yeah.
And they take this stuff because to escape, because on their prep comes with depression and then certain compounds like tren and all that stuff they get depressed on. And then something like kratom makes you in a good mood, makes you happy. And so once you start adding rec stuff to bodybuilding, it's game over. It's not good. It's not a good combination at all.
I agree. I fully agree. And I don't know, man. Like, I mean, look, I was never, I think I always just had more. I never had, let me put it this way. I never had an addictive personality. Do you know what I mean? I was never the guy that like, well, 25 milligrams of D-ball works. Why not do 100? You know, I was never that guy. It was, if I went to 100 milligrams and I noticed that I wasn't getting any better on 100 than 50, then I would pull back to 50. You know, I never had that mentality. And I certainly never had a mentality to jump on recreational drugs or to jump on Adderall because I needed energy during prep or anything like that. I kind of,
so many people use Adderall. You know, I was very anti-rec drug growing up, playing soccer. When I got into bodybuilding, I would be at bodybuilding after parties all the time because I was sponsored by Diamond-Tize at a young age, and I was around a lot of big names. And when I started seeing people shooting up meth, shooting up dope, like I was like, what is going on? And I got on opiates hard for 5 years, but I had I wasn't like, oh, let me just do some oxys for fun. I had 3 surgeries back to back to back in a 2.5 month period.
I see what you're saying.
And so I was on it, and I didn't know about withdrawal. I didn't know the severity of withdrawals. And so
especially back then, you're talking in like the early, nobody knew.
Well, this was like around 2015.
Oh, I had to later on. Never mind.
So the doctors really didn't tell you. You kind of knew about withdrawal, but you really didn't know, because if I did, dude, I would have never. So they put me on Dilaudid and oxycodone for those 3 months. When I tried to stop, I mean, I had fluid coming out of every hole, ass, mouth, shivering, shaking, like crying, and just picture, dude, that's why it's so hard to get off, is because of this. Picture you have the flu, because opiate withdrawal is like the flu times 10, plus you're in mental hell. I mean, you literally don't want to live. You literally think about killing yourself because you're in so much physical pain. Wow. But as soon as you take that pill or shot or whatever, you're not sick anymore.
Back to normal.
Within minutes or less, your snot could be all the way here. You're vomiting. As soon as you take that dose, it's gone. So It's so hard to go through that long withdrawal phase. You know, you at least got 7 to 10 days. And then after that, you go to the pause, that last mental and all that stuff. So that's why it's so hard to get off that junk. And I was on that shit for 5 years, man.
I'm glad you cleaned up
myself, and I was so mad, and I felt so defeated, because I've always been a person I'd do anything I put my mind to, and I could not. I would literally just look in the mirror like crying, like, why can I not get off this shit? Like, I tried this. It was just, and I know a lot of people like that, and most people don't want to be on that shit, and it's very, it's embarrassing, it's defeating, and it sucks because there's not much good treatments without going through that literal mental and physical hell, and there's a very high suicide rate in people coming off opiates. That's
it's just fucking horrible, man. That's just fucking horrible. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but I'm glad you're back to normal. And that's the thing, because I don't have an addictive personality, and because I have like the wherewithal to stay away, and maybe it is because I never really pushed myself to become, the best bodybuilder I could. Maybe it's hard for me to be compassionate. It could be just.
I think, John, when you get that in your mind, like, hey, I want to be the best bodybuilder in the world, and I'm going to be Mr. Olympia, and nothing's going to stop me. I never thought like that. I literally, when I started bodybuilding, I was like, I want to go pro. I want to be in the magazines, and I want to be like a decent pro, and then quit. I don't want to destroy my health with this.
Right.
I know I'm never going to be Mr. Olympia. I even want to get to that. I mean, I'm not going to do what I need to do to get to that level or whatever. So all the magazines, that was really cool. Doing that, being on the covers, that was my goal. Like that was awesome. And then I was going to push. I think if I went to the pro level and then pushed it harder, I think I've probably been dead, because so many of my friends that went back to that level are dead, because you get in your head, it's just you're chasing this goal, and if you sit back, like when I got injured with my shoulder, it was such a blessing in disguise. I look back and I'm like, what the F have I been doing all these years? Like, I'm missing out on so much like life, and it makes no sense. And so when I came back to compete in 2014, I didn't have that drive at all. And the magazines, that's when print died. They weren't doing the muscle mag shoots anymore, and flex and all that. And I was like, what is the point of this? There's no compensation. It tears up your body. And these guys now, they're chasing all this stuff, and they're broke. Their relationships suffer because they're never normal. They're on all these hormones nonstop. They're dieting nonstop, and it ruins a lot of people's lives, I think.
I never wanted to put myself in that position. Plus I knew my genetic potential. The most I ever weighed on stage was like 181. And I'm 5'8". So I never wanted to. I knew my genetic potential, and my attitude was, what if I push the envelope, to become a top 6 at a national level show? And my attitude was just like, it's not worth it. It wasn't worth it for me. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, even you had to be a top 5 pro to even make a living really at that level. And I was about to mention a certain about it person. I forget whatever. But it's just not worth the sacrifices you have to put your body through, and especially if you want to have a family and kids and all that stuff. And Derek's got that now. I know Derek that's probably on his mind too. When are you pushing it too hard and you're taking 10, 20, whatever years off from your life that you're going to care about growing old, being there for your kids too? So
no, and I agree. And we were talking about that too. Hunter is in the same position. And what's the other guy? There's another guy. I totally forgot. What's his name?
I don't think Hunter's going to push it anymore. I don't think so either. Come back. I think he's done with bodybuilding pretty much.
Yeah, and I kind of don't blame him. You know what I mean? Like,
not in a bad way. I'm saying like he has a kid now. You start once I had my first kid, I immediately saw the world in a totally different way, and I was like, yeah, this bodybuilding is nothing to me. Like, this is so much different. I have someone to take care of that's going to rely on me for till they're 18 or whatever, longer than that, obviously.
Yeah, right. No, I fully.
Who else had a little one?
I'm thinking, I can't remember his name. Jesus Christ. He won last year. I think he won the Legion. I think 2 years in a row. What's his name? Brett? Yeah. Help me out. Brett Wilkins. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has
kids too.
Yeah. And he's another guy that could be a really good bodybuilder. So we'll see.
Big dude.
Yeah.
I know he had to pull out that 1 year because he was having some health issues. So
yeah, well, yeah. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, man. I get it. I know bodybuilding could be addicting and everybody loves it and so on and so forth. But I think guys like Hunter and Derek and Brett, if they were to bow out because they want to put their families first, I don't blame them. And if that's what Blessing is doing too, because I know Blessing is married and has a kid too, then I could respect that. Do you know what I mean? If he doesn't want to push the envelope because he has a family, I could respect that.
Blessing was great before bodybuilding. It was a social media guy. That's how everybody knew before, doing the pranks and the skits. He's got a good personality. Bodybuilding, it's just he don't have that what it takes to compete at that level. The legs are never going to get there.
Right.
He has a big upper body. His conditioning's a problem. I think mentally, you look at the guys also that switch a coach every single season. Those are the guys that never make it far, and they're not as serious. They think this person has a secret. This person has look at like Regan. He has a new coach every season too, and he hasn't got anywhere.
Well, Regan looked good this year. Regan probably looked the best he's ever looked this year. He'll probably break the top 10 in the Olympia, but I think he'll be in the back end. But
all these guys, John, if they're not competing, they feel like they don't have a life, and they feel it's hard to, like identity. Like, what's their identity? When I'm a bodybuilder, what else am I? And when they quit competing, people aren't like, oh my gosh, they're not talking about you anymore. They're not. In bodybuilding, it's very hard to stay relevant after you stop competing. You have to be doing,
dude. If you don't compete in 6 months, people forget about you.
In a second, people don't know who you are. People don't talk. Think of all the great bodybuilders that aren't doing social media stuff. Like, you can't even remember because they just remember Chris Cook? He was a big name bodybuilder, blonde guy, and when he retired, he's one of those guys that just disappeared. And a lot of guys just had a really sour taste in their mouth, and they're like, I want out of this shit. Like, this is not for me, and I'm not interested in hanging around. And I mean, let's be honest, bodybuilding is full of the most delusional backstabbers. I mean, it's not the best bunch. And
agreed.
All these friends they screw each other over all the time. They're not real friends. They talk shit about each other constantly. I've been around all these guys at different gyms and cliques, and it's just like no one's really friends, like actually true friends that I see. I'm not saying no one, but the majority of people, it's just like, what can you do for me?
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, I was never really in that world like you were. I wasn't really plugged in like you were. I've made friends through this podcast, like people like yourself or Jason Arns, and they turn out to be good friends. But I've never was really plugged in and then made friends through competing in bodybuilding. That never happened to me. But the more that you open up Pandora's box and look into the bodybuilding world, the worse it gets. Like, you've seen it all. I don't have to tell you. Most of
my friends weren't bodybuilders, dude. A lot of bodybuilders, I didn't hang out in their cliques, and it probably hurt like career stuff at the time, whatever I was trying to get forward, because people thought I was an asshole or not friendly. It wasn't that. Most of my friends were not bodybuilders. They were normal people. They were, I had a lot of friends that were in bands. I just really didn't get along with. I don't want to talk about eating chicken or working out. I want to talk about other stuff. If I'm not, or what are you competing next? Like the stuff bodybuilders, all they talk about that consumes their life. That's all they talk about.
Yeah.
I always liked having friends outside the sport and industry, and that's who I got along great with. So, yeah.
No, I fully agree. I don't have too many close friends, but the one or two guys that I consider close friends have nothing to do with bodybuilding at all. Like zero. One guy's an architect, the other guy's a carpenter. That's it. But yeah, man. Listen, it's like this. It's like this addiction too. But you're right. A lot of people, that is their identity. I think Kai Green is the perfect example of that, because he refuses to fucking slim down. He's still over 300 pounds. Yeah. And it's like, dude, I think it's time for, he's got to be over 50 at this point. It's time for you to fucking, slim down. It can't be healthy being 300 pounds anymore. But I think that is what he considers his identity, and that's what he has. But no, I agree. I think there's a lot of guys like that. It's got to be. Listen, it's got to be difficult. Being a freak and walking around and people constantly talking to you and asking you, you're turning heads, and then you got to be look like a normal person. But there are other ways to get your satisfaction through bodybuilding, like this podcast that I do. I am fully 100% dedicated to this podcast, and it gives me fulfillment.
John, most people, a lot of people can't do. A lot of these bodybuilders can't do that though. They can't talk. They can't talk about bodybuilding. They don't have knowledge in bodybuilding. They don't know what they're doing. They're just listening to their coach. So they're not able to do this kind of stuff. That's the problem. So if they stop competing, they can't do something like this.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, that is something. Then they have to do some soul searching, because it's either it is what it is, man. But anyway,
back, think about bodybuilding too before we go. I mean, you just eat, sleep, and train. For them, a lot of them, when they quit, it's hard for a lot of people to work because they feel like, oh, I'm too good to work. I'm too good to go to a 9 to 5. And like a lot of people think that way. And it's life.
There's a guy at my gym who just competed. He's at an NPC level, borderline fucking, national level. And he's 38 years old, and he doesn't have a car, and he has no credit, and he's a personal trainer, and all he talks about is competing. And it's like, maybe you should fucking get your life in order first before you worry about getting on stage. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. You can't, you can't lead a horse to water. So, I mean, you can't make him drink. You can lead a horse to water. So it is what it is. Anyway, listen, Armon, thank you very much, man, for coming on and doing this. I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much.
Really, brother. Yeah,
before we go, how's your supplement line doing?
Good. I got to get it launched. The site still. The guy's taking forever, but his wife has cancer, so it was supposed to been up like a couple months ago. But my web designer, his wife's going through some stuff, some treatments and all that. So I'm not gonna, hey, you need to get this done.
Right.
It'll be done in the next month for sure. So
all right, good. When it gets done, let me know, and I'll be plugging it on my show, and we'll see if we get the ball rolling for you. And that's about it, brother.
Appreciate it.
Of course,
right, brother.
Thank you very much, man. I'll talk to you soon, bro.
Thank you. All right. Have a good night, John. Bye.
Later, brother.